All right, risk to reward ratio and its correlation to profitability. So before I actually start, let me actually explain what risk to reward ratio is in simple terms. Okay, I'm actually going to use Naira to explain it. So in simple terms, sorry, give me a second. In simple terms, risk to reward ratio basically is the ratio of your risk to your reward. Okay, the ratio of your risk to your reward is called your risk to reward ratio. So, for example, now I have 10 naira and I want to risk 10 naira. And then the risk to reward ratio, if I risk 10 naira, is 1:5. So that basically means if I risk 10 naira, oh boy. So that means if I risk 10 naira and I win that particular trade, okay, R ratio R 1:5. So what that basically means that if I risk 10 naira and I win the trade, I'm going to win 5 of 10 naira. 5 times of 10 naira, 5 more, you understand? That's multiplied by 5. So my risk 10 naira, if I win the trade, because my risk reward ratio is 1:5, my reward is going to be 15 naira. That is a very good risk to reward ratio, because if I risk, instead of 10 naira, if I risk 1,000 naira on the trade, I'm going to win 5,000 naira. So how is this actually beneficial when it comes to trading? So basically, if I take, let's increase this thing so it can become more juicy. If I risk 10,000 naira and I win the trade also, this same thing also means I'm going to win a profit of 50,000 naira. That is what they call risk to reward ratio. So my risk to reward is 1:5. So that means if I risk 1, my reward is going to be 5 times my 1 risk. So if I risk 10, my reward is going to be 5 times. Whatever I risk, my reward is going to be 5 times if I win it. Okay? All right. So if I also risk 100,000 naira, my reward is going to be 500,000 naira. All right. Yeah. So if you also did it in dollars too, the way you calculate your stop loss. Your stop loss is your risk. So if your stop loss is going to be $10 when it hits your stop loss, that is your risk. And that basically means if you're risking $10 your stop loss, if you win that trade and your risk to reward ratio is 1:5, that means your reward is going to be 5 times of $10, which is going to be $50. $10 is 10,000 naira. $50 is 50,000 naira. Let's use this as you calculate it now. So now let's say in a month, because in FRX you don't probably take all that much trades. So probably in a month, let's say should we say 10 trades? Let's say 20 trades in a month. 20 trades in a month. That's like 5 trades a week. It's possible for it to take 5 trades a week in FRX if you see. Let's just use this one just to calculate our stuff. So what we're going to do now is that we are going to calculate 100% accuracy. We are risking 10,000 naira. We'll start with them. We'll do it in form of percentage. We'll do it in form of percentage. Then after that, we'll now do it in form of naira. 100% accuracy, which is equal to 20 wins and 0 losses. Then we have 90% accuracy. Did you go to how many wins? 18 wins and 2 losses. 80% accuracy. Eighty percent accuracy is equal to 16 wins and 4 losses. Then you have 70%. I'm going to do it all the way to. Hey, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to do it all the way to 20% accuracy self. It all the way to 20% accuracy. So you can actually see the usefulness of risk to reward ratio. So this is going to be 70% accuracy, 14 wins, 6 loss. This is going to be 60% accuracy. And this is going to be 12 wins, 8 losses. 50% accuracy, 10 wins, 10 losses. This is with 40% accuracy, 8 wins, 16 losses. This is going to be equal to 30% accuracy. I'm going to stop at 20%, 30% accuracy. 30% accuracy is going to be 6 wins. And no, I made a mistake here. 10 losses. Sorry. 8 wins, 12 losses. 6 wins, 14 losses. Then here we actually have 4 wins. 4 wins and 16 losses. This is 20% accuracy. Okay. I really, really can see my screen bar. All right, now. So since our risk to reward ratio is 1:5, so that basically means for every 1%, we are risking 1% per trade. 1% risk. More 20 trades. Okay. Risk is 1%. 1%. Then because our reward is 1:5, 5 times our risk, our reward is going to be equal to 5%. So let's start the math. Okay, let's start the math. 100% accuracy, that's 20 wins. 20 times 5 is equal to what? 20 times 5 is equal to 100%. 100%. This is 100% profit. This is profit. Okay. 20 wins. 20 times 5 is not 100%. 100% now. So the next one, we have 18 wins. That's 18 times 5, which is equal to 90%, minus 2 losses. 1 loss is 1%. So minus 90% minus 2 is equal to 88%. Is 88% profit. Good. Let's be going. Let's be going. All right. Let's be seeing this now. I want you to actually understand something, because a lot of people have been training for it for a very long time, but they're not actually profitable. They don't know risk to reward ratio, or they don't know how to use it very well. Okay. 16 times 5, 80% minus 4% risk, or minus 4% loss, that's 76%. Are you saying even with 80% accuracy, you're still making 76% profits? You understand how I calculated this now? Our reward is 5%. So since we actually had 20 wins, that means we got rewarded 5% times 20 times. Every time we win 5%. And anytime we lose 1%. So anytime we had a loss, 1%. So here we had 20 wins, that's 20 times 5, 100%. Here we had 18 wins, 18 times 5, 90%. Then we had 2 losses, 2 times 1, 2%. So 90% minus 2%, that's how we are doing the calculation. So 14 times 5, 70% minus 6. That is equal to 64%. 64 plus percent. 64%. Carl Drogo. 12 times 5, 60% minus 8. 82%. So even with 60% accuracy, you are making 52% profits. See now you insane it actually is, yeah? Let's continue. Let us continue. Okay, so 10 times 10, 10 times 5, 50 minus 10, that's 40%. 40% profit. With a 50% accuracy, you're still making 40% profit too. This is why risk reward ratio is very good. So 8 times 5, 40%. 40% minus 12% in loss, 28% profit. So with a 40% accuracy, you're still making 28% profit. 28% profit. So let's check 30% accuracy. 6 times 5, 30 minus 14. With 30% accuracy, you are still making 16% profit. Let's check 20% accuracy. Let's 20% accuracy. 4 times 5, 20. 20 minus 16. You're still making 4% profit. So anything greater than 20% accuracy with 20 trades in a month gives you 4% profit and above. So why do people use to blow accounts in FRX? If this basically, if you just come and just do random buy or random sell, random buy or random sell with 1:5 risk to reward ratio, if you have luck by your side, yeah, you should have like 40% accuracy, or probably even 50 sell. And if you take up to 10 trades like that, you should be able to get something. The reason why most persons are not actually profitable in Forex is because they don't use good risk to reward ratios. They don't use good risk to reward ratios. They don't use. Now let me show you what we did here, the trades we called out. So you have this now, right? Believe everybody actually understand what I'm doing. Here's the correlation. So if you have a good risk to reward ratio, you will be profitable. You want them that you can go below 50% accuracy. Anything once you start going below 40% accuracy in FRS, below 40% accuracy in FRX, that basically means you don't, maybe your strategy is not that profitable. Maybe anything below 40% accuracy. You can have 40%, you can have 45%, you can have 50 above and everything. Right? In a week, you can even have 30% accuracy. It's possible. But you shouldn't go below 40% accuracy in a month in FRX with 1:5 risk to reward ratio. Hope if you actually understand, drop some fire emojis in the chat box. All right, let's go. You see it. If you just go to the market to go and gamble, you know what is called this thing though? Probability, right? If you're gambling, your probability of winning your gambles I usually, you can have 50% probability of winning gambles, right? It's possible. Right? If you say support or resistance and you just pick call or put based on this thing, if you're lucky, you can have 50% probability of winning. If you have a 50% accuracy with 10 trades, you can actually make 40%. But if your risk reward ratio is not like this, now let's change this particular thing now and use 1:2 risk reward ratio. Let's do this. Hey, I've already closed this thing now. After doing this 1:2 risk reward ratio, we're going to actually close it. We'll end the session so we don't like spend so much on this thing. So we're going to do the same thing now. Here, months. This is why people are not usually profitable in FRX because of their risk reward ratio is usually very terrible. Just have a good risk reward ratio and have a strategy that can give you at least 50% accuracy and you're good. Trades. Risk. This is risk 1%. What's in the doing? Risk reward 5%. Can you have a strategy that no, reward is not 5%? Now we are doing a different one. This one, I reward 2%. Right, but this time around we are doing the same calculation with 1:2 risk reward ratio, okay, which is what normally all these people that are dropping signals and everything, that's normally what they used to do. The reason why people actually used to do that 1:2 risk reward ratio is because they want to actually win, they want to actually have better accuracy, blah blah, all of those plain things and all of those things. So if they call out trades with shallow risk reward ratio, the probability of it just sitting at 20 pips TP or there are 10 pips TP is very, very high. But at what cost? At the cost of not being profitable. So you can see they say, oh, we have 60% accuracy on our signals. We have 80% accuracy on our signals. Just go and check. What am I doing now? Just go and check the risk to reward ratio. That's the first thing I check. Once I see 100% accuracy, I go and check. Once I say I'm good at calling trades, I'll just go and check your TP and check your stop loss. And then I'll check your risk to reward. Command V. I'll check your risk to reward ratio. Anything less than 4%, I just know that this one is just, it doesn't know what it's doing. Some of them they will use 50 pips as stop loss and they will use 10 pips as take profit. Like, what the hell are you doing 50 pips stop loss and 10 pips take profit? I saw a particular ad on Instagram and the guy was like, our bot is this, our bot is that, and his stop loss was like 100 pips, while his TP was just like 10, 15 pips. I was like, no, wala, this is obviously demo. Because you're telling me this, but your stop loss is 100 pips, while your take profit just 15 pips. And you had like 5 wins, I've been a 10 wins self. No, wala. The moment you actually have one loss like this, your account has finished. The moment you have 2 losses, your account you'll be liquidated itself. Just 2 losses. Because obviously, if your TP is 15 pips, you're going to increase your lot size so you can actually have better profits. And when you increase your lot size for better profits, you're putting your account in a bad position in form of risk management. Because once your lot size increased for bigger profits, that means the lot size will increase for much more bigger losses. You understand? And that is just how it is. So we're going to do this thing together, and I want us to actually calculate for me. I'm going to ask us to calculate for me. I want to actually be sure that everybody here actually got what I'm talking about here. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why people get very frustrated in forex, because once they're actually practicing and they're actually learning and they're growing up, that's with empty forada. They want to have good accuracy. So when they see and they check everything, then they are seeing, because they're using $100 to trade, and then they see the accuracy is reading like 40%, they start getting frustrated. But don't be frustrated. Use a good risk to reward ratio and do this calculation. You'll see what you can. If you're doing a funded challenge, even if you're not even risking 1% of your account, even if you're risking 0.5%, that means your profit is going to be half of this. That means the 100% accuracy, you're going to make 50% profit. 90% accuracy, 44% profit. You see, if you calculate 26% profit of $100K funded account, that is $25K, and you only have 60% accuracy, and you're using 0.5% per trade, risk per trade. So you obviously can't break their rules, because for you to break their rules, you need to lose 20 trades in a row. That's actually going to be lecture for another day, all right? So let's do this together. 18 wins and 2 losses. 18 wins and 2 losses. That is, since our reward is 2%, 18 times 2, 18 times 2, that's 36% minus 2. This is going to be 34%. 34%. 16 wins and 4 losses. Look at it, 80% accuracy. 16 wins and 4 losses. That's 16 times 2, 32% minus 4. 28%. All right, so 14 times 2. Are you understanding? 14 times 2, that's 28% profit, then minus 6 losses. Minus 6, 22%. This reward, yeah. You see the difference between 64% and 22% is so much. That's with 70% accuracy. Now let's start going to 12 times 2, 24%, then minus 8, 16%. You've seen it. 16 versus 52%, they're not both the same thing. Okay. Then 20 minus 10, 10%. 10% versus 40% profits. They're not the same thing. They are not the same thing at all. Then you have 16 minus 12, which is equal to 4%. 4%. So the moment you drop to 40% accuracy in a month, an entire month, only 4%, that's what you're going to make in an entire month. You know, when you now drop to 30% accuracy, you're now going to be entering 2%, no, minus 2% self. Are you seeing? Then once you now get to this stage, it's minus 8%. So you can see the difference now between your risk to reward and profitability. So which you rather do? You rather use a good risk to reward ratio and be profitable even when you're having 30% accuracy. 30% accuracy, you're making 16% profit. If you do a funded challenge and you have 30% accuracy, all right, you have 30% accuracy and you make 16% profit on a $100K account, that is going to be $16,000. If you do the same thing with this thing, you make 2% loss, and 14 losses if you're risking, you know. So it's very, very good to have a good risk to reward ratio, and that is actually what's going to make you profitable as an FRX trader. Thank you very much, family, for joining. See you guys on the next session. Have a lovely and fantastic day. When the GPA trade gets close to the entry point, I'm also going to post a reminder for everybody to see, and that is basically. Thank you very much, family. See you guys next session. Bye.